I'm Whitney Bond, and this is 29-Minute Meals, the web series where I'll show you how to make a delicious recipe in 29 minutes or less. On today's episode, I'm cooking up a Bond family favorite. It's a one-pot Mediterranean beef and macaroni dish. It is so flavorful, you are going to love it. And it's also really quick and easy. So let's get cooking. First off, I'm gonna give you the ingredients you'll need, which is a cup of diced onion, a little bit of olive oil, some minced garlic, a little ground cloves, cayenne pepper, some cinnamon, salt, and ground beef. You'll also need some beef broth, macaroni noodles, a little can of tomato sauce, red wine, and 2 Roma tomatoes diced. Also, a little Parmesan cheese for topping because yum, cheese. All right, so what we're gonna start with is adding some olive oil to a large pan that you have a lid for. I use this Dutch oven for pretty much all of my one-pot meals. It makes it super simple. So we're gonna add our olive oil. It's under like medium heat. And then we're gonna add our onion. And we're gonna simmer our onion and our garlic while cooking our ground beef. And that's just gonna cook for about 5 minutes or until your ground beef is cooked through. And then we're gonna take our skillet and just drain off any grease, and then we'll put the rest of the dish together. So now that our ground beef is cooked through, I drained off a little bit of grease, and now we're gonna add our seasonings. So we've got just a little bit of cayenne, just 1/4 teaspoon. So it adds a little bit of spice, but you really can't, it's not a spicy dish, I promise. It just adds a little bit of flavor. A teaspoon of cinnamon, that really makes this dish stand out. And a little bit of salt. And then we're gonna give this a mix. Already smelling amazing. You always know when you come home and this dish is cooking because you get that delicious smell of the cinnamon, and then when you add the red wine and the tomato sauce, which is what we're about to do, just smells incredible. So we've got our 2 Roma tomatoes diced. We've got our tomato sauce. Get every last little bit out of there. And then we've got our 1/2 cup of red wine. And then we've got our 2 cups of macaroni noodles. So I use the small macaroni noodles. I've used like the fancier, like kind of swirly cavatappi, I think is what they're called, noodles in the past. But because they're a little bit bigger, they take a little bit longer to cook. So I recommend to make this dish in 29 minutes. You're gonna wanna use the small macaroni noodles because, like I said, the bigger ones, they're gonna take you about 25 minutes to cook in here, whereas these only take about 15 minutes. So we've got our macaroni noodles in there, and then we're gonna cover it all with beef broth, and that liquid's gonna help make the sauce for this dish as well as cook down our macaroni noodles. So we've got this covered. And now we're gonna take our lid and cover it. We're gonna reduce the heat down to low and let this baby simmer for 15 minutes, and then we've got dinner. Now that our Mediterranean beef and macaroni has been simmering for about 15 minutes, I'm gonna pop the lid off. Seriously, smells so good. Now our noodles are all cooked. We've got a delicious saucy dish that just smells amazing. And I'm gonna spoon this out, and then we're gonna top it with a little Parmesan cheese, which is my favorite. Seriously, I probably make this dish at least once a month, if not 2 or 3 times, because it's just so easy. Boyfriend loves it, I love it, and I love the leftovers. If there are ever leftovers, it's one of my favorite dishes to just heat up the next day for lunch. I actually get so excited that I have leftovers, and I'm usually not super excited for leftovers. So for this dish though, love me some leftovers. All right, so now we're gonna take our Parmesan and make it rain cheese. Cheesy deliciousness. All right, grab a fork and dig in. It's so good, and I literally cannot say enough good things about it. You guys have to try this dish. Now it's time for Whitney's 1 Minute of Fun. On today's Whitney's 1 Minute of Fun, I am joined again by my sweet little mama, Little Miss Muffet. She joined me 3 weeks ago. If you guys missed the episode, we played the pie face game. So you've got to go back and watch that episode. I made gluten-free orange chicken, and you're gonna have to tune in to see who got creamed in the face. But when I found out she was gonna be visiting from Oklahoma and going to appear in this episode with me, I decided to do a little wine pairing with the dish because this is one of her favorite dishes as well as mine. And I'm pairing a little Meritage. I actually used this wine in the recipe, and now we're going to pair it. And then I also asked her to share with all the fans of WhitneyBond.com and 29-Minute Meals 5 fun facts about Whitney. And I have no idea what they are. She did not tell me, which is why I need the wine, because I have no idea what she's gonna say right now. And so here's some wine for you. Thank you. Cheers. And now you can share with all of my lovely followers. You can drink your wine first, and then you can share the Whitney's fun facts. I literally have no idea what's coming.
All right. Well, every parent gets excited about all the potential of their children when they're young. And so as they grow up, you kind of look at all the different things that they do to become the young woman that they are. And the first thing I wanted to share with you guys that you may not know, but when Whitney was young, her favorite thing to do was either run a bank, a store, or a restaurant, and her whole family got to be the customers that came and shopped at her store, ate food at her restaurant, or got money out of her bank. So she started to be entrepreneurial at a very young age.
That is very true. I had like an entire city I could basically operate from in our house.
Very true. The second thing I was going to share is at one time we thought Whitney might be the singer of our family. Our family is not known for our musical talent, but Whitney entered a talent show in school and sang "Any Man of Mine" by Shania Twain.
This is true. I was in 5th grade and I sang "Any Man of Mine" in overalls.
She did, and it was wonderful from a parent's perspective, but probably wasn't going to lead to a singing career. Something else that you all would find especially interesting about Whitney was she was a little bit of a picky eater when she was younger. And we went on a vacation one year to a theme park, and she decided that the only thing she was interested in eating was either breadsticks or apple slices with peanut butter on them. So we went an entire vacation where the rest of the family ate other things, but for Whitney, we bought breadsticks or apples with peanut butter spread on it. So
that is true. Picky or pain, I don't know which one.
Parents, there's hope for all your children because look at her now. The next thing I was going to share was one of our first trips out here to California when Whitney decided to move here to go to college. She and I drove, and so I was driving, she was navigating, and as we would drive through the towns, she would tell me the name of the town we were going to. So we're driving through Arizona, and she says we're driving up upon Yuma, Arizona, which I loved because I did know it was Yuma, Arizona, but in her world, looking at the map, it was Yuma. And we got on into California and we're driving up, I think it's I-5 here, and we're going to La Jolla, California. And I'm sure that's probably what most people think it is. Of course, we all know it's not. But that was quite fun for us to realize as we spent our time here that we had pronounced, or she had pronounced both of those incorrectly.
For my first year living in San Diego, I legitimately did not know where people were talking about when they said La Jolla. I kept trying to find H-O-Y-A on a map. I was just like, I just nodded and went along with it.
And then the final fact I wanted to share, and some of you may know this or you may not, but when Whitney did decide to move from Oklahoma to California, she decided that because she didn't want to live anywhere where she couldn't have a car and drive, because that was a really big deal to her. And she's been out here for a few years now, and her least favorite thing now as an adult is to drive.
Good.
That is absolutely true. When I come out here, that's the last thing she wants to do is drive. So quite a turnabout over a few years, but one fun fact about Whitney.
Well, thanks, Mom, for my 5 fun facts. Hopefully you guys found those entertaining. I definitely did.
Well, I certainly didn't want to embarrass you tonight. So.
Yeah, that's to come should come at another time, hopefully, like far. She'll find that Shania Twain video sometime and post it probably when I'm really famous. Well, thank you for all the support. My mama is the best. I love her so much. And thank you guys for watching Whitney's 1 Minute of Fun on 29-minute meals. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and you'll get a new episode in your inbox every Wednesday.